This week on Counting Duggars, we have more information on the future of the family when it comes to them continuing life on reality television. Plus, Jill and Derick break their silence on the show's cancellation, and cousin Amy makes a powerful statement on social media. We've got all that and more on this week's episode of Counting Duggars. Welcome to Counting Duggars, a show where we talk about our favorite reality TV family. I'm your host, Joe Drake, back with my lovely co-host, Sophia Valinsky. How's it going?
Fine, how are you, Joe?
I'm good. You know, we're back for another week, and I feel like as the weeks go on, we will be continuing to talk about this cancellation.
Definitely.
Because I feel like the ripple effects are still rocking Duggar fans everywhere.
Completely. It's going to be, I think, a long time until...
Definitely. Well, we've gotten a little bit more information in terms of what's going to happen to them in the near future. Apparently, they will be locked out of their contracts for many more months to come. Now, for those out there that aren't familiar, some things I've discovered in this business is reality TV stars normally have to sign a very strict contract. Obviously, they're all different, but the networks, the production companies really try to not own, but make sure that they have the power over these people so they can't get famous and go do a bunch of other projects. Right, Sophia?
Definitely. If you're signing up for reality, you're giving them your reality. And
You're right. And obviously TLC was the parent network, the parent company for the Duggar family. So we obviously knew they were in contract with them, but we found out that they're stuck for a few more months. I mean, what do you think, Sophia? I feel like we don't know how many months, but it's not like it's years.
Definitely. You know? Yeah. I mean, it's something I guess I knew contracts existed, but it kind of shocked me to find out, especially because I would think if a show is ending, the contract would end with it, but...
True, right. I wonder how many more seasons was in the contract.
Right.
I guess if they're just a few more months, maybe one more season, I'm guessing. But
yeah.
We also found out that the Duggar family as a whole is going to be out $850,000 because of this cancellation, which is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but my theory is that sort of all of their salaries and what they make added up. Because It's not like Jim Bob makes a cool $850K by himself for just doing Counting On, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, an insider told The Sun, our friends over at thesun.com, they said, quote, "Now TLC has axed the show. Most of the family are desperate to get out of their contracts. They think it's unfair that they can't move on yet and sign other deals." Sophia, do you think it's fair?
Oh, it's a hard question. I mean, they've been with TLC for so long that on one hand, it's kind of well, it is, their home, I guess, on TV or has been. But at the same time, if they want to, they should be able to, again, it's their lives that they're giving up. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming, again, that there's somewhere in the contract that says, if we decide to cancel it, you're still obligated
Definitely.
to actually follow, right?
Yeah, that would make sense.
As opposed to if we pull the plug, you're not immediately free. But of course, many members of the family have released statements. And this week we have Jill and Derick's statement. They said, quote, "Our statement about the cancellation of Counting On is a little late because we just learned the news with the rest of the world last Tuesday. And this season of life is quite busy for us. We first heard of the cancellation when both a friend and a cousin each texted us after TLC's statement online." It's pretty interesting, right, Sophia, how even the reality TV stars find out news like we do.
Completely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wonder, obviously they had stepped away prior, as we've discussed on the show before. But I do wonder if they were secretly happy that it got canceled, because again, they left on their own accord, and I don't know if I get the vibe that they want success for certain members of the family. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah. They went on to say, quote, "It's been over 4 years now since we chose to step away from the show. And although we were initially barred from sharing our decision to leave the show, we have opened up a little bit more recently on our social media." Sophia, this goes back to the contract thing. Like, clearly they were barred from even speaking about certain things back in the day.
Definitely. And I know they've kind of started a little bit. It seems for sure like they have more to say though. So I'll be interested to see.
Definitely. And now I think that the show's canceled. They clearly, with this statement, they feel that they can speak even more freely, which as Duggar fans, we love because we want the behind the scenes. Like, what are they? Of
course.
Right?
Yeah. Want to hear it all.
Well, they went on to say, quote, "However, we also faced many pressures and some unexpected challenges which forced us to step away from the show in an effort to gain more control over our own lives and to do what was best for our family." Again, this goes back to this like contract. I imagine the Duggar family being so big that some of them probably felt really sort of claustrophobic in the hands of the, being on TV and having to sort of do certain things the way production wanted them to, right?
Definitely. I mean, it seems like something that's a very personal decision, but for that it's the family that people want to watch. So it's not like everybody can have their exact say in how things are going to go.
Definitely. Also, I want to clear something up that I said on the first episode for all of you out there listening. I misspoke and got my Duggar wires crossed. I said that Jill and Derick were one of my favorite couples. They are not. Because Derick has released many sort of homophobic tweets in the past. I am openly gay, so I obviously do not support that. Derick is allowed to think however he wants, but I just want everyone to know out there that I don't know who I was thinking of, but Jill and Derick are not my favorite couple. I think I've decided that Jinger and husband probably top my list. Do you have a favorite couple, Sophia?
I feel like I need to think more. It's a big question.
Well, and I know I host the show and you do so well as my co-host, but sometimes I just get confused as to who I'm talking about. Like who's who? You know what I mean?
That's the problem with the J names, as much as we love.
It is. And I don't mean that I couldn't get along with Derick. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him about homosexuality and the LGBTQ plus community and hopefully change his mind. But for the record, right now, he's not my favorite Duggar. All right, let's move on to our social posts of the week. This was really interesting, Sophia, because cousin Amy King, posted a blue heart over her son in a swimming pool. And she's making a big statement here, and she wanted to do so to cover up the skin of her child, who is obviously a minor. And she warned her followers out there about child predators, which, this is no surprise, she's likely alluding to her cousin, Josh Duggar, who has been charged with those heinous crimes. Sophia, what did you make of this post?
Yeah, I mean, I think on one hand, I have seen a lot of influencers and celebrities start to do that recently.
Right.
Which always, it can, there's a lot of different ways you can think about it. I guess the internet is scary. We're kind of figuring that out as we go along. So it's cool that people, it's sad that people have to think things through like that. But
it is kind of sad, but also cool in a way that someone like Amy King is sort of making the steps to do something that might help influence other people to think oh, that's a good solution. I'll just put an emoji here, or there are other ways to sort of navigate this tricky thing that is social media, right?
Definitely, just small steps that nobody's thought of before, but it's so easy when you do think about it. For sure. Even though at the same
on
time,
the caption, I posted the unedited version, and then I thought to myself, is that too much skin? He's just shirtless. And then I thought, you never know who's seeing this picture and what they're thinking. And now I'm going to be extra careful and protect him. I encourage all parents to be very careful on what we post from now on. So it's very interesting. And I think it segues perfectly into our Duggar question of the week. So Sophia, what are your thoughts on posting little kids on your social media?
Yeah, I have actually thought a lot about this because a lot of celebrities have talked about this and people I know who have kids. The Gigi Hadid thing last week where we're all talking about,
Right.
celebrities getting to, or I guess the idea of kids being able to decide how they want to be portrayed online as they get older, because that's not something, I mean, when I was a kid, my parents ever had to think about.
Right.
So it's a tough thing.
It is.
I think I'm kind of on the side of the kids should have the idea or be able to decide, because, you know, maybe when they grow up, they don't want that, but you just can't delete stuff forever. The internet could be full of embarrassing stuff at the very least.
I mean, I'm 34, and I often talk about with my friends that we're just happy social media wasn't around even when we were in high school, let alone when we were children, when we couldn't ask our parents not to post a picture of me in a pool. But with that being said, I'm guilty. I have an adorable niece, Maggie, who when I'm with her at home, I put on my Instagram story pictures of us because I want to share with my family and friends these pictures. But it's a really tough decision. I also have a friend from high school who I recently spoke with, and she was telling me about her kids, and I was like, oh, I never see them on your Instagram. And she's like, yeah, my husband and I have made a decision to not post any pictures of our children at all on Facebook or Instagram.
I know, it's a tough thing because then on the same side, it's like I love seeing my friends' kids and like my cousins and people. It's like such a cool way that we can, you know, connect with people that we have social media for. But I think if I had kids, I don't know if I would think differently. I guess that's the hard part.
Yeah. Well, let's take it a step further since we're talking about the Duggars on the show all day, every day. They're bringing their babies into the world on reality television. I mean, that's like, forget an Instagram post. That's crazy. But I also think there is something nice about that to have, like, you have like your home movies in HD and you get paid for it, right? So you have all those memories recorded forever. So
the clearest way they could be. Yeah, I know. That's, I mean, I guess a big thing that we're gonna have to think about probably even more and more as time goes on.
Definitely. Well, I always think Amy King makes really great decisions. I like her a lot.
I do too.
And so this was definitely, thank you for your post, Amy. This definitely gave us a great topic to talk about. But that's all the time we have today. Join us every week for Counting Duggars. There's a new episode every week right here on Us Weekly's YouTube channel. And make sure to comment below on what you think about what we've discussed on today's show. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.